y'all. This is what happens. Oh, Jesus. I sure was nervous to click the wrong thing. But y'all, thank you for joining us. Yes, yes. Put your walking shoes on. All right. Hey, family. How are you guys? You see, I'm right here. I'm here by myself for a minute, just for a minute. We are wishing Renee and her love safe travels as they are going to Cancun. I'm a little jealous, but we're wishing them safe travels. Thank you for joining us here on the Walking Heavy show. So I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm gonna introduce my co-host for today. And my phone just went off. I have his bio here. He is not a stranger to the Walking Heavy show. Actually, he was on episode 10 in our first season where we talked about being Black, brown, and proud. And before I tell you who it is, even though you probably saw the flyer, I'm going to tell you about him. He has 20 plus years in nonprofit and community work, including over a decade. Right, focused on HIV education and prevention services. He is founder and CEO of Rock My Soul Media, a media company focused on presenting content created by and or for LGBTQIA Black and Brown folk. He is the host of In the Groove, a weekly music experience airing Fridays live on Facebook and YouTube, and you'll find out more about that after he comes on. He also co-creates as an art director, stylist, and development coach. He is a Yoruba priest and is very involved in partnering the dialogues of spirituality and sexuality. So friends and family, please welcome Odu Adamu to the Walking Heavy show.
Hey, see, now what happened?
Uh-oh, the light
No, honey, it's all right, baby. If I don't have anything else, I have lighting. So whatever happened between when you left and now, it got a little dim, but that's okay because we are the light.
Yes, we are the light. Yes,
so we don't need to worry. All right,
listen,
and then we're going to help ourselves. Let there be light. I always come prepared. So what's going on, Sue? Hey, thank you, Pamela. Welcome. And hey, wait, Renee said she was just stopping by real quick. So hey, Renee, before she bounced out, she at work. Don't get fired while you're walking heavy, baby. All
right.
So what's
up? You can catch it in the replay. We don't want you to get fired.
That's right.
And then now one of us got coins to send your way.
Right. So
we'll help you with a GoFundMe, but you know. I am well. I'm so excited to have you here, Odu.
I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be back. And it's funny, like when I do something and I get an invitation back, that's like, oh my gosh. What's wrong with those people? No, it's always, and even when I haven't been on the show, I watch you and Renee faithfully. Yeah. Love what you do. Love the vibrations you create. Love the way that you have created a space for people to ask things and to receive things that they may not be asking and receiving in other spots, because I'm always like watching the conversation, etc. So thank you.
Oh gosh, I couldn't think, and I'm sure neither Renee and I could think of anybody else that could fill this spot.
Look, I'm trying. I thought I was all centered and stuff. That's the OCD. Come on. I got to be under the lips. Okay, go ahead.
Come on, lips. You see the lips in the nose? Come on. That's black. Oh, yes.
This gonna be this kind of show, and we got another show to do tonight, so we gotta save some of it.
Yeah, we gotta save some of it, baby.
Come on.
I read off those bullet points that you literally sent me 30 seconds before we started.
Oh,
But
she
that's on
blowing
me,
me up
y'all. No,
already.
that's
No,
on me,
that's on
y'all.
me. I don't read nothing. People send me an email. That's why I don't get asked back. They said, "Didn't you see the email?" I said, "You need to put in the subject line what
Oh,
you want from me."
oh,
Because
okay.
I'm one of them kind of dudes saw access code. I said, "Oh, this is the link." I ain't reading their word in there. And had
Well,
I sent it to you, I'd be telling you, "Did you read my email?" I
yes,
didn't. So
yes.
it's and what goes around hits
He
me in the
not
face.
lying. He not lying. Hey, hey, did you do that, da? Hey,
Point 7A, line 2. Didn't you see what I said?
right, right.
Hey,
Child.
what's up? Jumbo. Yes, Daniel. How are you?
Hey,
I'm sorry. Go
Daniel.
ahead. I'm
Hey,
reading and stuff.
sis. Hey, fam. No, come on. If you see
Let
the
me do
comments, say
my
hey to the people.
let me focus. Hey, peoples. Beautiful peoples here on a
Yes,
Friday.
yes. Hanging
Beautiful,
out with
beautiful
us.
people. I
Hanging out with
see you because you're beautiful. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Don't y'all feel like I feel extra beautiful now? Jesus.
You
My lips are
are.
popping extra now since after you said that.
Look, I mean,
Yes.
that's one of the things what it's about. We can kind of be in a heaviness if we choose
Mm-hmm.
to be. And
Mm-hmm.
don't get me wrong, things happen in our lives. But that's what the truth we always have to come back to is beauty
Yes. Oh,
and that
yeah.
we're beautiful. And,
Yes.
and just kick in that, like because we're so inundated with
Mm-hmm.
messaging. And especially right now, let me just say this. I always say when I'm saying something out loud, I'm saying it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I have developed a COVID body.
Mm.
Now, let me explain to y'all. I'm what you call a hot number, typically.
Okay.
Right now, I'm a multitude right now. And that's challenging for me because I grew up set, is what they used to say back in the day. Like in
Mm,
grade school, I was a 38-40 waist. So I was
mm,
as wide as I was tall.
yeah.
And, I was in COVID, I was working out, I was, or, in quarantine, whatever. And then, I was dealing with life stuff. And so I just kind of got comfortable with food and everything. And I realized I don't even look in the mirror right now
Wow.
because I just cannot look like from the neck I can't handle
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And so I need to reinforce for myself and not just this beauty in the spiritual way and because inside we're all a God. No, honey, ain't nobody looking at your insides. We all need to be able to see ourselves and say, you know what, in this form,
Yes. Ooh,
in this face,
yes.
in this shape, in this being, I
Mm-hmm.
am beautiful. It is all beautiful. And rub up
Yes.
on it. I'm gonna just rub just get into it.
Yes.
So that's why that must have come out for me. Yes, yes, we are all beautiful. All
Wow.
beautiful. Let's appreciate that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing, and it's funny that you would talk about your COVID body
Mhm,
because that's something that I've been struggling with.
mhm,
I gained 15 pounds.
mhm,
The first, I think it's 15 to 18, probably more like 18 pounds that I lost previous to us
right.
having to shelter in place, and
Mhm,
so there's a lot of I guess there's some cute things that I thought was cute anyway that I like to wear. And
mhm,
I'm a woman of a certain age, right? And
mhm.
so once you turn 50, I'll be 51 next month. And once you turn 50, yes, black don't crack jokes.
No, I
Um,
done seen some dark china on the ground, but you look good. We need to stop saying that, but you look good.
right, right, thank you. um, but women's bodies carry weight differently as they age, and so I used to be uh, brag about my, even though I was always been a big girl,
Mhm,
used to brag about my little flat stomach, honey. You couldn't
mhm.
tell me nothing. I was like, yes, I'm a tiny waist, mine, you know. And so now I'm really dealing with this whole midsection, like, oh, this my waist is disappearing, and so I'm feeling not happy with myself, uncomfortable,
Mhm.
and it's taking me. So it's a source of stress for me. So thank you for this kind of affirming, reminding me that. Reminding me to look at myself as beautiful, and
Mhm.
all parts of me, and the COVID body parts,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
everything else that are beautiful. So yes, thank you so much, Odu. I hope you guys. Hey guys, hey. Let me see. Let me go back here
What's
to the
up,
comments.
peoples? What's up?
Yes, and she was here. Thank you so much, family, for joining us today. And so our topic for today, see, walking heavy with Sue and Odu. See, oh, listen, it rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Is I ain't
Sue
thinking
and
about
Odu.
you.
Right? And I ain't thinking about you.
I ain't thinking about
Okay.
you. And in parentheses, I ain't sorry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this for me, I think it's kind of like a follow-up, piggybacking off of F an opinion that we did about 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And really, I would like us to talk today very organically. And please, the family, if you are watching now, come on, throw your comments and your
Daniel
questions
cutting
up in
up.
there. Listen,
I know that's right, baby. Come on
yes,
now. Come
uh,
on.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about what it means to not apologize for who the hell you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make no apologies about how you show up.
Right.
Make no
Right.
apologies. Really owning your personal power,
Mm-hmm.
and not. I read somewhere the other day. Not leaking out your power, right?
Mm. Mm.
And if you have a power leakage, how do you
Mm.
how do you fix the leak,
Okay. All right. I
right?
like. Okay.
so
No, yeah, yeah. All right.
so tell me, Odu, what are some of the, when you think about personal power,
Mm-hmm.
what comes up for you? Like, what are some of the things that come up for
Wow. Because I'm asking y'all that later. That's just so amazing. And I didn't think about it for myself. But even going back to what we just talked about,
you?
um, power is in truth.
Yeah.
And that's where you put your power.
Wow.
And there is always truth. Now, what are you owning is truth. Because then again, there is truth that's absolute.
Yeah.
But then what are you owning is truth. And so where are you putting your power? And often people are putting it in facts. And facts are transient, facts are temporary.
Yes. Oh my God. That's good.
So, when you get into where we're putting our power, then we have to get into what is absolute truth. Because that is what we need to feed, and that is what we need to feed off of. And let me just say, and clearly I'm not always there.
Yeah.
Because what I was making as truth, and I'm going to walk through, is this shell
Yeah.
that I'm in right now. I was making that truth. I made it identity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, part of who I am is this body.
Yeah.
That's kind of a fact as I walk through the street. But that only became a fact once I came through into this realm. I existed before then, so that's where the truth is. The truth is what was going on before I came into this body.
Oh yes, come on.
So that's where I work to keep my power, or that's where I should say I go to for my power.
Yeah.
That is what it is. And then, so now, we could go another road and just talk about like principles that, I guess, relate to power. And we've heard a lot about that, I think, during this experience.
Yeah.
And not just, honey, y'all talk about, we got COVID, we got Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
We got Crazy Man. We got a whole lot of things going on.
Right.
And, so people are digging and almost to a point, I think, and it's not a judgment, it's, I guess, a real kind of survival of clutching on to spiritual principle. Because it's like, oh my, this is what I have, but then that has to be authentic. And again, it gets back to truth.
Yeah.
We can all sit around. You talked about it on the show, and I've gone through the same thing of this during this time, being blessed upon blessed upon blessed. And I'm not talking about that I woke up today, and I'm not knocking that, but I get that. But I mean, like, blessed, like I started my company during COVID and the resources just came to me. So I didn't do anything.
Wow.
And I've, you talked about, you shared about bank accounts and money. I had $18 when COVID started, like truly, and some change.
Yeah.
But one thing that was interesting to me that I had a conversation with one of my pastors about the week before COVID. I said, I have to change my relationship with money.
Yes.
I worry about money.
Wow.
And that's not truth to worry about money.
Right.
You're not sitting in truth, because the reality is everything is in abundance and available at all times.
Yeah.
So I said, why do I worry about money? And I would say, so I would never do automated payments for anything, or because I'm worried about what's going to be there.
Wow.
So for church, what I did was I went to recurring giving. And so this was about 2 weeks before we not saying before COVID, because I knew about COVID like the end of last year, but before New York shut down.
Right.
So went to recurring giving.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a Thursday. I had to, boom, $18. I said, but I'm not going to change the tithing. What I'm going to do is not worry about money. And what I'm going to do is really be in a principle of abundance. And I said, I'm going to really be in it, not talk about it and read about it, and not fake it.
Right.
I'm really going to work to believe it. So I said, I'm not going to change that. I said, and in fact, what I'm going to do is commit to support.
Yeah.
I said, during this experience, because I saw it coming, I said, every time a DJ I knew did something, I donated some money. Like or Cash App or whatever. And not because here's the other part of this that people don't get. And this is, I'm going to go back to something I said earlier. In the kind of acknowledging blessings during this period, a lot of people have been acknowledging them. Oh, we're going to talk. We in spiritual principle right now. They're all going to be spiritual principle. Everything is spiritual principle, actually.
Yeah.
We're just going to relate it. So we get into this idea, I know I'm doing good because everybody else ain't, or because this, that. So I'm black. See, that's not operating in abundance. That's not operating in gratitude. That's still coming from a deficit mind. That's still saying that can be my experience.
Jesus.
As opposed to saying they're having an experience that they don't have to be in.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm going to hold in prayer. And not judging them like because it's their choice. It's just saying that they're walking in a different space right now, and that's okay because they're going to shift lanes when they shift lanes. What I'm not going to worry about is, oh my God, I'm so glad to be on this path. I hope I don't get detoured.
Wow.
And so that's, these kinds of things, when I say really sitting in abundance, in the principle of it, the principle of prosperity. And fortunately, I had done so much work prior to the time, we call it work, that it was able to kind of manifest for me in a natural way. And again, it's been a period of up and down.
Right.
So then we get to another principle, and we have to really get into it: forgiveness.
Yes, Jesus, come on.
Because what you have to do is, because we get into, I know better. Why am I thinking like that? Why did I do that? I know that the I knows don't matter. What it is, oh, okay. So in some way, shape, or form, I forgot something. But the beauty is, if I forgot it, that means I knew it in the first place. So I'll just remember it. That's the forgiveness. The forgiveness is not going out and getting on a microphone saying, I forgive so-and-so and this and that. The forgiveness is sitting in here saying, you know what? And so some of the beautiful people to talk to, if they're open about sharing it, are people who truly commit to NAAA and the 12-step program. Because they get into like the principles in a deep, profound way, and not from I would say it's a spiritual process. They don't necessarily, people are differently around it. But it's interesting because I did a class called 4 T's. Tithing, now I'm going to get it wrong. Tithing of your talent, treasure, and time. The tithing, it's the 4 T's. Work it out, right. Anyway. And it's 12 weeks based on, AA and A principles. Profound for me. So again, to Pamela's point about principles, we're always in principles. We are always in them. We're either allowing them to be what they're supposed to be, or we're trying to make them into something we think they should be. It is. So yeah, so I mean, the truth stuff is I can spit it out, but like I said, I realized in different moments I was teetering. I was like, yeah, I kind of know that's truth. And I have a pastor that says, you either know or you don't know. And if you're
Hmm.
not doing, you don't know. Now we go back and forth with that. But because I think, no, a lot of people know they doing fucked up shit. They do
Right,
it
right.
because they don't know how to be different without it.
Mm,
Like
mm,
I like the learning of how to not be concerned about your body.
mm.
The learning of how to not stress if you have less than $20 or a
Right,
negative bank account. Like that's a
right.
learning.
It is a learning. It definitely is. It definitely is. Yeah. How to not, whew, when you said that, particularly when it comes to our bodies, our families do a really, oh, you putting on some weight there.
Mm-hmm,
Our loved ones, ooh, just kind of point out all of the things, like
mm-hmm.
as if you did not take a look at yourself in the mirror.
Right, right. And even in the like I said, being a child a certain size, it's a little butterball. Like you get all that. Come in with them little legs, and I grew up in a time. Now I don't know. You can't tell me that the environment, nature, and everything ain't changing.
Hmm.
I grew up in a time when mosquito bites was serious in the summertime, and you would get a bite, and they would have pus in it, and they would have to
It
set the
would blow up.
needle, yeah, and do. And them mosquitoes now ain't got that kind of power, thankfully, but but they may be doing something else altogether. They may have got smart and got some kind of stuff going inside of you now. But
Uh-huh.
back then, right? Yeah, put that up because they said, "What? I'm not talking about medical stuff." Don't everybody talk about, "Oh yeah, if you go light a needle and stick it in you, that'll kill the COVID." No, do not do that. But saying that to say so, I was a big boy, and so you was juicy. That's oh yeah, the mosquitoes
Yeah.
love you. You juicy. Now I think as an adult, I know mosquitoes do not kind of pick and choose, but it's not like people go in the Golden Corral. Like saying, okay, that's a big rib.
Right.
Like, but I think, but all those kinds of things get in your head,
Hmm.
so that your size becomes this conversation,
Right.
right? Right.
Right.
Like
Right.
it the dialogue or whatever else. I was my parents were divorced, and I was raised by my mainly by my grandparents, and so I was, I guess, like the darkest person. Or
Hmm.
I felt the dark. Let's just even say how you make something, then you start to make something a fact. I
Yeah.
felt the darkest person. And
Hmm.
so then that was a whole thing as well. And then the school, so yeah, you're right around kind of the folks around us. And again, and I'm always clear, and not always intentionally,
Hmm.
but it don't matter how you experience it, how you experience it.
Yeah, yeah. I still because these memories are
Mhm,
coming up for me now. I remember, when I was young, I didn't. Let's see, when I was younger, I would get teased. I had body, but I was
mhm,
slimmer. I was tall and
mhm,
lanky and doofy, right? So I
mhm,
got teased all the time,
mhm,
called Big Bird and all of that stuff. But and I kind of put that in the bucket of that's bullying, right?
mhm,
And
mhm.
so uh I don't recall having a hang up about my height.
Okay.
Um or my body. It wasn't until after I had my first daughter
Mhm,
that I remember my brother said to me, why did you go ahead and why did you have a child? Because he said you've ruined your body. Like now you'll never be a model. Because I guess I had a model type figure before, and so you've ruined your body, right? Because I gained weight. So
mhm,
now it's like whenever I gain weight, it's like okay, I've ruined
mhm, mm,
our
mm,
body, and so that
mm.
goes back to that truth, right?
Right, right,
Right. the,
right,
you know, that wasn't me ruin. I did not ruin my
right,
body,
right.
but that was the truth that I hung on to because,
Yes.
and so it makes me think about all of the truths that we
Mhm,
hang on to
mhm,
that don't belong to us.
mhm, mhm.
that dome, but that,
Hmm.
that these truths that we kind of hold on to, we carry, put in our bags, right? We walk around with it.
Hmm.
Those truths step into the room before we do.
Right, right,
Those
right, right,
things do
right,
not belong to us. And
right.
how many of those? Because sometimes it's one, and sometimes it's multiple
It's
things
multiple. Right, right.
that when
And it
you
only
really
takes one.
it
You know,
only takes
it
one,
only
and
takes one.
sometimes the rest of the rest of the multiples that come in
Mhm.
happen because of the one.
That's it. Right.
And
I
so
mean,
you kind of, you break it up to little pieces, and now
mhm,
all the babies of that
mhm.
of that lie,
I mean,
right?
it's akin to if you look at a person who decides to get plastic surgery, but they haven't healed a thought about themselves,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and they say, if I just do this,
Yeah.
this will be all right. If they haven't healed the thought about who they are and who they are in their being, it's never enough.
It's
It's
never
either I
enough.
have to keep getting the same thing done over and over, or I start to do different things.
Mm.
Um, or, I would say in my case with body, the lengths I went to, at one point, I did steroids, testosterone. I
Wow.
mean, I had a regimen. I was doing insulin because, if you shoot insulin in your stomach, like I was like serious.
Wow.
But this is what's funny. I wouldn't say I was never pleased, but there was always a whatever. I saw some old pictures of me from that time, and I looked and I said, "Oh my God, I had a six pack."
Mm.
I never noticed it then, like
Wow.
because I wasn't doing what the other work, so
Yeah.
I could never appreciate whatever was happening for me physically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now do have body things that have occurred due to the things that I injected, etc. So I've had to do another level of work
Wow.
being
Wow.
okay with breast and like all this kind of stuff
Yeah.
that happened because I was doing all the other stuff. And
Wow.
fortunately, I guess it is this piece of doing a different kind of work to be able to look at my body now. I mean, like I said, yeah, these past couple of months, okay, you know, but again, that's temporary too. But in general, like breasty in general and whatever else, I'm good with. It's like, all right, because the boys, they like, yeah, it don't matter. Just sit it right here and you all right. So you got to. But even with that, and I say that, and but I say that to say sometimes because of the truth that we've
Mm-hmm.
decided to take on,
Right.
we also give it a lot of whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
even if it were truth, it doesn't have because it's not real truth. It's the power we still end up giving it that then
Right.
creates this problem. There's like folks who, so we know there's all kind of body types, and there's folks attracted to all kind of body types.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, and we're in a time now where we have to think about language we use. I'm not politically correct.
Child, go ahead.
And not because of anything, but just because I talk, whatever. So if you're a big
Yeah. Yeah.
boy, and I can talk about it from the gay side, the Bay Area, so you're a big boy. There's a flock of men who will live for you. They
Mm-hmm.
will live. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, the bigger the better. They're feeders. There's all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But if you can't embrace being a big boy, every time you meet somebody, you're gonna say, "Oh, well, I'm shocked that you like me because of my body. I didn't
Oh
think
my
you want to talk
God.
to me, or I didn't want." So,
Ah,
honey,
this is, ooh.
so it's not just even you accept the truth about what like having the body type, but
Yeah.
you start to accept a truth about what it means about how other people feel about it.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, your brother said, "Well, you ruined your body." So, first of all, that's so not factual because your body isn't ruined. Second of all, even if we're talking about the shape of your body, for some reason, that's been perpetuated to women forever. That when you have a baby, your body will automatically become something else, and it will be that forever.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. But
Right.
then there's a case of, and if you have a different body, what does it mean? You
Mhm.
have a different body.
That's it.
Right.
That's
So,
all. That's
okay,
all
I
that it
have a different body now.
means. Yeah. Yeah.
And I have a beautiful being that I co-created.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, when you look at it like that, it's just it just Oh man.
Right. And so now in a new body, I get to experience the world in a new way.
Mm-hmm.
and
Oof,
a
we can all
different
get
world.
there.
Yes,
Yes.
and with another beautiful being I co-created.
Yeah. 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 Ah,
But ain't
now
nobody saying that. Everybody, you see a commercial with Kerry Washington. She had a baby yesterday, or Sierra had a baby 4 hours ago, and they like, a
right,
size
right,
two, and
right,
you
right,
think,
right,
oh, okay, that's what we need to be doing.
right, right, right.
And
And
we
for
not
me,
even
very
getting into the truth of the support system it takes to
yeah,
transition your body, period,
yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
whatever way
Wow.
to whatever way. And we're talking about body, but let's be clear, we could be talking about mind.
Yes, yes.
Because mind is the same kind of work.
Yeah, it is the same job. Probably more work.
Right. Yeah. So,
Because
right.
if your mind is not right, like if you're thinking, the way you perceive yourself, the way you
Mm-hmm.
look, the lens that you look through, if that's like a little, like how you wear glasses and it gets dirty,
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking through a dirty lens, then
Mm-hmm.
then everything that you look at, including your body and everything around you, is going to have that film on it,
Right.
because
Distorted.
right.
Yes.
And so it really does begin with the mind. It really
Mm-hmm.
does begin with the mind.
Mm-hmm. You're
Oh,
absolutely
this is a
correct.
good conversation. Hey, y'all. Hey, family. Thank you
What's
so
up,
much
man?
again for
What's up, man?
joining us.
Pamela, she calling everybody. Pamela remind me of so I'm 53. In the 70s,
Look at you. This
when
is.
a black person would be on TV,
Mhm.
you would pick up the phone. You got to turn on Merv Griffin. Diane Carroll is on. And I would call because she was like, a black person is on TV. And
Yeah.
Pamela is like, y'all better get on out here and watch this. So thank you. Yes, Daniel. Y'all keeping us going. But I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
it's all of that. And again, we are always loving about it, or need to be loving about it, because of how deep it goes for all of us.
Mhm.
So let's talk about spiritual.
Yes.
And so the theme and all that. And let's get real with this. Because there's a whole community of folks
Hmm.
who will portray,
Yeah.
because they're spiritual, they have arrived. No, and I ain't even just talking about church
Listen,
folk.
listen,
Because
I
church
know.
folk
Yes.
get a bad rap. Because
Mhm.
everybody act like because they burn incense, they not like church folk. Or because they practice Ifa or whatever. Let's get this right. In
Yes.
America,
Uh-huh.
all of us have been raised in a Christian construct,
Hmm.
which we bring to our spiritual practice,
Yes.
regardless of what it is,
Hmm.
because it's cultural.
Yes.
So until we can identify that and separate it, we live with that. So let's get that right. And that's where this idea of the comes from. I
Mm.
am the guru.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't know what happened with COVID, but COVID created more life coaches and gurus than Gandhi and Mother Teresa and Gibran or any other reading.
Everybody a life coach.
Everybody is Iyanla Jr. I'm like, and that's beautiful if everybody has done this work and they're all evolved. That's a
Right,
wonderful thing.
right.
But that ain't really it. And I step back because I said somebody would say the same thing about me, but I'm good with it because I already will tell you I'm always doing it.
Right. Right.
And the beauty and the blessing is that it's always there to be done.
Yeah.
I don't have. Wherever I'm at, I arrived. Like
Ooh, that's good.
wherever I'm at, I arrived. There is no this ascendant to here. And when you get to the point, when you look in the mirror and you say to yourself, I mean, that's all beautiful.
Hmm.
But what do you do on that bad day when that ain't happening?
Oh
Like,
God.
what are the tools? What are the skills? Like,
Yes.
that's the piece.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
if
yeah,
you just
yeah.
coming up, showing up, like they used to tell you in school, show your work.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not to me,
Hmm.
be able to show it to yourself. Because
Yes.
again, you need to know that there was something that you knew, so you'll remember it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so that's why, to get into the we can language it whatever kind of way, where I had to get another way, I had to get into the I don't care kind of coming from there was a judgment about, or a perceived judgment that would come from that I'm not so. So like we said, like to say you have $18 in the bank.
Yeah.
And somebody will say, well, don't you believe in abundance? Da, da, da. I said, yeah. That's why I'm not stressed that I have $18 in the bank.
Right. Right.
Abundance doesn't mean I have $52,000 in the bank, depending on what I think about $52,000.
And depending on what your definition of abundance is.
Right, exactly. That's what I say. Yeah, because we see it now. We exist in a world where we see people talking about, well, I'm going to make this decision so I can pay less in taxes.
Yeah.
You're coming from a deficit space. If you are having X amount of dollars, you are not concerned. If you believe money is ever flowing, you are thinking, I'm going to make a decision for wellness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not for money I'm going to save. And the wellness is beyond me. And the smart person is saying, no shade, but let's just say this. The smart person is saying, you know what? I need to make sure certain people get in office so people have jobs so they will continue to pay for cable and stars and watch my tired show. Now, and they will keep streaming my movie from 100 years ago and all of that. If you were coming from a certain kind of place. But so that's why when we talk about even the ideas, again, spiritual principles, abundance, prosperity, and I know that wasn't real spiritual, but shit.
It's all right.
I preface my shit with I get down like that. But I mean, but it is a real talk kind of thing. Like how do you, and you hit the nail on the head, what truly is abundance, what truly is prosperity, what truly is success?
Yeah.
One of the beautiful things I learned is, well, success is doing what you set out to do and enjoy doing it. That's it. Yeah. And what will manifest from that is manifest from that.
Yeah.
But you are successful. Successful is not, unless you want a BMW, then success is getting a BMW.
Right.
Okay. But the success is I got the BMW. If success is I want to have, or I want people to die, if it's something external, that because it means something.
Yes.
It just has to stop. I wanted, some some Christian Louboutin pumps. I got them. That's it. Not, because these are fabulous and it means I'm part of the da-da-da. Like, see, all that, if all that's coming,
right,
then you're successful and you ain't never going to be successful.
Right. Trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Right, you ain't never going to be successful. You'll have a closet full of shoes.
Yes.
Unhappy.
Yes.
You're going to be at the Met Gala on the red carpet. Unhappy. You're going to have 42 platinum albums. Unhappy. So you're not successful.
Right.
You just have things and benchmarks and whatever, but they're not about being successful.
Right. And so we have to change our mindset about what success is for us, right? And not feed into the idea of the what society or what culture tells us.
Family, like you said, partners, friends, all that. And let me be clear, I'm a Taurus, so I like things and stuff.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that. We don't have to give everything away either, but we just have to be clear that things are things.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Things are things.
Things are things. Because there'll never be enough things because there's always another thing.
Oh, there's always another thing.
There's always another thing. You know how, it's like we talked about tech. You get a camera and it's like, oh, but now this camera came out.
Right.
And it's sold out. Oh my God, I can't wait to get that camera. You'll get that camera and it's like, oh, how big can a TV be now?
Listen, right.
Or anything.
Like cars, they start to depreciate the minute you, like a car.
Right, yeah.
The minute you drive off the lot, it begins to depreciate.
Right. So your happiness or your idea of success in that moment can only be, because I want this. And that's what people don't get. There's nothing wrong with just purely wanting something.
Right.
Nothing. And you don't have to explain it. If you want a Lamborghini and you got the coins, even if you don't have a coin, don't steal it. Please don't tell us. But if you, some man or woman, gonna get you a Lamborghini, child, gonna get your car, honey, get it in your name. Now, you're gonna have to get a service and stuff. I don't know what to tell you about that. But in the meantime, get it. Yeah. As long as that's the beginning, middle, and end of it for you.
Yeah.
It's when it's about trying to make it more. I mean, and we're talking about materials, the job, career, same thing.
Right. Everything is, it's the same
Yeah,
thing.
same thing. We see it. Well, what's funny? Even when we talk about church, and I can talk about it even in Ifa. People become priests because everyone seems to be a priest, and they think being a priest is this. So once I get, and this is very, I've experienced a huge consciousness about that in America. And that's why I talk about Christianity as a culture. These are steps you want to get to. I've experienced it in other countries where people are like, well, no, we all can tap into the same power and energy and vibration. So being a priest doesn't give you greater power.
Right.
It gives you different responsibility in how you engage in the universe.
I love that.
But it does not give you greater power. And so, the pastors get up in a minute talking about because so-and-so is anointed. Honey, everybody's anointed. Everybody is anointed.
Yes.
Everyone is anointed. Didn't nobody come from nowhere different than where you came from?
Come
on. Now, she can sing her ass off, but everybody is anointed.
And everybody has
purpose is different.
The DNA.
Right. Your purpose is different.
Yes.
But everybody is anointed. You don't hold the keys to a kingdom that nobody else can get into. Everybody got the keys.
Listen.
But the challenge, and I used to tell this to the young folks, the interns who used to work for me. The problem is you have keys to the kingdom and you keep trying to pick the lock.
Wow. Ooh,
now that's what you have to get to. I know, right? That's got to be in the book. But that's what's going on. And that's from the pastor down.
Yeah.
You're trying to pick the lock because you don't believe your key will work. You just don't believe it.
You've been taught your key won't work.
Right. Yeah. And so you add on, and that's that. And meanwhile, the whole time, in fact, let's get real. I used to tell people that. Now we tell folks the reality is there is no date or door or gate on the kingdom. You could just walk in and walk out as you please.
Stop picking the lock. That thing. Ooh.
Just walk in and walk out.
That is
24-hour access. You don't need no security code.
If we all knew that.
Right.
If we all fully embrace
that,
that we have that access, that no one person has more of it than we do.
Right.
How different? How different would we show up? Right? How different would we show up in the world?
It would be, and not be fearful, because it's funny. Now, I have a buddy, we've talked about this, and he makes a very valid point around, but you have to understand what Mr. Man does. He ain't a buddy, but all right. He's like, but everyone doesn't want, doesn't want to do that. Like there is a comfort in not taking responsibility. There's a comfort in being able to say, well, so-and-so has to, and such has to.
Yeah.
And that, I always sit with that in this idea. And to what you said, though, I think because we've been raised with it, so that's why it's comfortable.
Right.
Like it's fascinating. No, that's not. So yeah. We've been raised with that. And I think especially when we get to those of us who aren't white men. And I have this dialogue a lot. I said, again, everything is open to all of us at all times. But the thing that is different for them is what they never lose is imagination. Because to your point, once us Black children, gay children, women children, trans children, Latino, any other children's say we want to do something, if it does not fit into the thinking and being of those around us, we get a pushback.
Yes.
And even if we don't get a pushback there, we get a pushback out in the world.
Yes.
Even if the pushback is there is no precedent for what you want to do. And what we have to learn is there never needs to be a precedent because there is no precedent for me.
Right.
I am the first and the only. So whatever my purpose is, I don't need to have seen it before.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't. But that's such a, and those are the times we can sit and we can understand the challenges of being raised how we were and all of that stuff, and then understand the blessings. And I always tell people, for some of us, we really need to though get to the blessings of how we were raised to be doing what we do.
Yeah.
I said every non-white man that's an entrepreneur, especially in our age, like now the kids born a brand. That's
Right.
a completely different thing.
Right.
It's like they come out and the parents got a website, their name, and we didn't have none of that.
Right. Right.
We had, you go to the post office, you get you a civil job. Like there were things that were constructed, especially if you didn't know a sport and you couldn't entertain nobody.
Right. Right.
And even if you could, you were told, well, the chances are 1 in a million. So At the same time, though, here we are, you and I, identifying as folks of colors and of persuasions and things, like running our own businesses during a pandemic, thriving, engaging in the world, and we're the 50-someths doing what the 20-someths are doing and the teenagers are doing. Like we're on course and we're staying with it, with a knowledge and experience behind it. So there's something to be said about whatever did happen for us during those times that we knew. And especially because you and I both started what we're doing now during this time. That we understood purpose. Like you had to have. So that's as deep in us as the being called Butterball and that's also. And so again, when do we decide that's what we tap into?
Right. And I think a part of it too, and you said something about imagination. I think we tapped into the power of our imagination. Right. We when we're children, we imagine all the time. Like there is nothing that's too big for us to achieve, right?
Exactly.
There's nothing that's impossible. There's nothing that's far-fetched. When we've lived a little, something happens to our imagination, right? And we allow those pushbacks. We allow the worry, we allow the care, we the cares of life, right? We allow all of those things to crack our vessel of imagination, right? To crack, and so thinking back about what I said earlier about that power leakage. It begins to leak out.
Yes.
It begins to leak out, and so we can no longer imagine the impossible. We can no longer think bigger than ourselves, right? We are so concerned about what is happening right now, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to make it. We forget the power of our own imagination, and we believe that there's a higher power, or God, Allah, spirit, whatever the deity or of your understanding. And if we believe that we were created in that image, in that likeness, then part of that is imagining things. Jesus, part of that is imagining things into existence.
Well, yeah, and knowing them into existence. Because I think that's the thing with childhood. Like, it's funny, you said, we imagine the impossible. I always say, when we have imagination, nothing is impossible. Things don't become impossible. And I always think it happens, and that's why I think, we kind of start to live with, or with this. I never thought about this before until just now. This idea, everyone's always like, well, don't tell anybody what you want to do, and then it make your, you got to do your stuff on the low, dot, dot, dot. I guess it is because the first time as a child we told somebody we wanted to do something was when we heard no. Like, oh, that ain't going to happen.
Right.
And I never consciously thought about that's probably why that phrase and that ideology lives on as this truth, because it is something almost all of us is. And don't get me wrong, I know there are some white men that probably told their family something and they said, get the hell out of here. But by and large, that's just common for us.
Yeah.
Like it was just, and again, I'm thinking around my time, and just the blessing, I guess, of coming from a family where that was like my grandparents were not that. They were not that. My mother was more that. My mother was definitely the world exists in a box.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't that it was a limited box in terms of, I guess, like you could only have this kind of job or that kind of job, but it wasn't a way you could only have this kind of career, that kind of career. Like she was not supportive of creativity and the arts and things like that.
Yeah.
In terms of your career, she was like, you'll go to the museum and you can go to show, do all that. I want you to do all that, but don't pick none of that as a job.
Right.
And really, I think her realm was things that she could wrap her head around and understood. And that wasn't something she could understand because she was academic. So to her, what made sense career-wise was academia, like jobs that were so defined and rigid. Especially like rigidity made sense for her.
And had some prestigiousness.
Yeah. Things like she could tell her friends.
Yes, right.
And so things that also kind of almost had a guaranteed pathway to success.
Yeah.
Not things that you map out. And I get it. I mean, my family story is very interesting, especially my aunt, my mom and my uncle, them as siblings in their different careers. So I understand her perspective. But that, again, she wasn't working from a space of abundance.
Right.
She wasn't working from a space of prosperity or even purpose, a space of, but why are you in this world? Like, what are you here to do?
Right.
Because if you're in what you're here to do, I don't have to worry about you being a starving actor or whatever, or unemployed this or that, because that's not even possible in my thought for my child.
Yeah. Wow.
Like we were talking before, it's like with my son, I was like, well, you start your own business.
Yeah.
You want to do this, go out and do it. Whatever. It's not my thought that you'll fail.
Yeah.
You will have experiences, don't get me wrong, but there's no way, and not coming from a space just because I'm adulting this and I can't see the truth, because I knew what his issues are. Like, okay, you're going to have to work on this.
Yeah.
But of course, that's your purpose. I see what you love to do, what you're passionate about. That's what you're here to do. So there's no way you will fail.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And but that's a blessing that I grew into. That wasn't who I started out as.
Yeah.
When I developed that, fortunately. So I don't hold anything against, any person I experienced that didn't develop that.
Right.
Because we also, the other beauty is we're living in a world where we are accessing different ideology in a different way, especially Black folk. Because see, let's be clear. This way of thinking always been around. And it's always been around for us.
Yes. Wow.
We ain't got to go back to Africa. We go Reverend Ike. Now, I had grandparents who listened to Reverend Ike every Sunday.
Yeah.
And I think that played into a lot of what happened for us in that household, because there was never I hear people talk about a Black experience growing up from my time, and they all think it, and I'm like, no, we took vacations every year. The house was paid for. My grandfather bought a car when he wanted to, and he just paid cash. Like I had none of them experiences. But I realized that, especially as I aged and started my own journeys, oh, okay. Like even my grandparents were, I always call them country, deep country. But my grandmother never went to church. She went to church every now and then when I was coming up, every now and then. And I knew you didn't need to go to church.
Mm-hmm.
She was spiritual.
Yeah.
Trust me. And she talked about God. She sat up in that house and she could tell you some things. And my grandfather went to church though. So even the dialogue about women go to church and have to drag men to church was
Yeah.
completely different in my household.
Wow.
My
Wow.
grandfather went to church. My grandmother stayed home. My grandfather and my dad came to every school play, every graduation, everything. My mother and grandmother didn't. My pediatrician was a black man. My
Yeah.
school principal was a black. So all these things, so that's what's like, even when we get out in the world, all these things kind of add to the story and the what's possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
The what's possible. And so to your point, so and that's why I appreciate it and know the blessing of that. So that even again, when things came up or come up, I do have a foundation. My dad owned his own store. He was an entrepreneur. Like I have a foundation of, well, yeah, but this happens too.
Yeah.
Like this happens too. So
Oh, it is.
what's
Yeah.
up, Mom? I was wondering. I was like, how are we on the Walking Heavy? How the Walking Heavy talking to us? What's up, Rainier? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hey. Wepa. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for
Yeah.
popping in.
Have a shot of tequila for me.
Yes.
I'm gonna have some later on, but have one for me right now.
Oh my gosh! Can you believe it was 5:30 already?
Oh wow!
Woo, we went through that hour. Oh my gosh! Oh wow! This is good. This was good, and I thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. It's always.
This was an amazing conversation. And so I want you to think about what you want to give the people to walk away with, and I'll do the same. But while we're thinking about that, I want to kind of do the housekeeping. And so let's see, where does Renee usually start? We're gonna start with our sponsors for today.
All right.
So our sponsors for today, as it is every week. If you want a sponsor, hit us up. We can talk about it. But our sponsors for today is Cara Solutions, focus on your passion, let Cara handle the rest, and Pink Love Wellness. Now I know what Renee says, but I'm going to read this right off this thing. A holistic practice where services include one-on-one couples coaching, LGBTQ faith trauma support, and spiritual direction for interfaith individuals. And so you can visit Cara at www.cara-solutions.com and visit Pink Love Wellness at www.pinklovewellness.com. And if you see today that I am wearing an In the Groove shirt, this is a crossover. So I'm going to be on In the Groove later. Later tonight, so I'm going to throw this flyer up and Odu kind of, while this is up, tell the people a little bit about tonight's show.
Tonight. So tonight we're doing a special edition, Punany Power, Strong Sisters, Sexuality, and Song. So I have a full guest panel, including Sue, as you know, and then Shelley Nicole, who is of Shelley Nicole's Blackbush. Phenomenal indie artist, hard-hitting black, rock, blues, all that, talks about everything going on, and also has a show, Punany Politics. And then if you're familiar with LaBelle, 1/3 of the legendary trio, Miss Nona Hendryx, will be in the house. Singer, songwriter, film director, actress, philanthropist, everything. So we are going to talk about, look, we talk about everything from Lil' Kim to Lucille Bogan to Janet Jackson to Grace Jones. It's going to be a show. So get ready and come on over.
Yes, come on over.
Come on over to my place. Hey. Hey.
And if you guys want to join us live, you can head on over to the Rock My Soul Media page on Facebook.
Get your cocktail ready because it's happy hour.
Ready. Yes. And I'll be sure to put that link on the Walking Heavy page. And again, you see my In the Groove shirt. If you are interested in,
all right, come on for the pump.
Listen, get your own In the Groove shirt. This is not just for when you watch the show, but you want to let people know that you are in the groove.
And that shirt look cute on you. I'm seeing it on you. That's cute, boo boo. Okay, boo boo. All right. Hey.
So go to shop.spreadshirt.com / In the Groove if you want. And there are other types of designs there as well, right, Odu?
Yeah, well, there's two designs right now, and there's also mugs, aprons, tote bags. It's all kinds of stuff. So go on, and you can customize the size you want, the logo, and everything. So check
Nice.
it out. Get yourself some.
Yes, awesome. And so, and looking ahead to next week, I want you to tell the people a little bit about next week.
Okay. Oh wow! Come on, Sue, my baby. Sue be doing it. So next week is our season finale. Keep your head to the sky. We're going to be talking about songs that motivate and inspire us. It's going to be our usual team. Everybody's coming on. Sue even coming on the show. I don't know if she's ready yet, but she gonna come on. Yeah, she don't know yet. It's all right. And I know I'm looking across the set, but so we're going to talk about dance songs that inspire us. We're going to talk about instrumentals. We're going to talk about some live performances. So come in, tap in the chat in the group. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we're going to take our break and get ready for season 2.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Thanks so much. And so, Odu, what is your something to you're going to give the people?
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's go back to the beginning about beautiful. If there's anything, learn and know how to affirm yourself.
Yes.
In the truth of your beauty, the truth of your magnificence, the truth of your royalty. Affirm yourself in that and make it a habit. And don't let what is out picturing determine the level of it. What is out picturing is a temporary experience, and as Sue said, and it is often a distorted view. And when you affirm yourself in who you really are in truth, it's like the glasses cleanse themselves. It's like the Windex flows through the air and just sprays itself on, and it just wipes. And then you're here. And the other thing is, no door, no lock, no gate. All access 24/7.
All right. All access 24/7. All right. My something to walk away with. Own your power. Right. I love what you said, Odu, about that remembering what you've forgotten, right? And so many of us have to do that, but own your power, own your strength, own your imagination, own your journey, right? That's unique to you. Own it, and get to a place where you can fully walk in. You're fully walking as you are in your uniqueness. Right? There's nobody. I forgot what that quote says, but there's no one like you. There is nobody like you in the world, right? And so, and if there is a part of you that is leaking, that you're giving your power away, that you're losing power, you're kind of handing it to someone. Get that fixed. Do the work. Do the work. Do the work. Own your power. That's my something to walk away with. It is the end. Well, we get ready to go turn up over.
Baby, I got to go change. I got to pull something together. Get ready, change the artwork. The whole new set get ready to happen.
So thank you, Odu, so much.
Thank you both.
Listen, we got to have you back on here more often.
Anytime.
And bye, Rainier.
Bye, Daniel, Rainier, everybody. Hey, to everybody who's going to watch it later. What's up?
Yes. Yeah, you're going to catch it in the replay. Family, it's been a wonderful time with you today. And so we're going to catch you at 7 o'clock over on Rock My Soul Media for In the Groove. Come and meet me over there. I'll be sure to put that link in on the Walking Heavy page so that you can access it. And we will see you next week. We'll never be back on the Walking Heavy show. Peace out. Right.